My juices are flowing.
Let's bring the off-air conversation to the airwaves.
Hold on. Let me get the pleasantries out the way.
Go, do it.
Good morning, everybody on YouTube.
Yep.
Good morning to everybody on Twitch.
Uh-huh.
Good morning to everybody on the Xfinity Mobile text line. Good morning to all the graveyard shift workers, all the strippers getting off of work. Good morning to all the electricians. Good morning to all the janitors, all the plumbers, all the teachers, all the students, all the cops, all the firefighters, all the longshoremen, all the baby mamas, all the baby daddies. Good morning to everybody out there listening to the Rose.
The tech industry.
I love you, lawyers. I do love you, lawyers. Boxer and Gerson. Shout out to Boxer and Gerson. The best lawyers out there.
Shout out to the French Laundry, where I'm going to take Baldy on Friday.
Money time! Money time!
Oh, are you?
Dinner with the governor?
And the mayor.
I'll be real with you. There's no way I would sit down with Gavin Newsom ever I'm so, as much as people get mad at the Yorks for leaving San Francisco, I blame Gavin Newsom equally. It's a 50-50 share for me. Gavin, don't even start me.
So
Baldy, and it has nothing to do with politics. It's strictly because he lost the Niners.
I'm staying out of that.
Strictly because he lost the Niners.
I'm not touching that at all. Leaving that alone.
Now, here I want to take people in. We were going to talk a little Niners, a little Brock Purdy. We're going to get into the little
Brock Purdy's
Warriors.
hot because people believe in Brock Purdy.
But then you and Sam were having one of the most incredible debates I have ever heard in the little break that we had. We have to bring this to air.
There's Giants homers. There's Niners homers. There's nothing worse in this market than a Giants homer.
Why?
You want to talk about banana in the tailpipe and believing in quarterbacks like J.T. O'Sullivan and Sean Hill?
Well, I admit I was
Giants fans.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What's wrong?
It's next level.
I'm a Giants fan.
And the homerism sometimes.
From me?
From all you Giants.
What?
I'm a Giants fan, too. But I'm saying Giants homers are the worst homers in this market.
Why?
Why? Because it doesn't matter what the record is. It doesn't matter how much talent they don't have, how devoid of talent they have. Like, you look up and down this roster, and they have nothing. Aaron Judge hasn't signed yet. We're hopeful that Aaron Judge is going to sign. But if he doesn't sign, I was telling Sam Love, but if Aaron Judge doesn't sign, and this offseason, this offseason, they don't sign anybody, right?
Well, wait, there's a difference. There's a difference.
No.
There's a difference.
They don't sign Aaron Judge, and they don't get anybody on this roster.
Okay.
That Farhan's ass is going to be grass. Farhan needs it. The heat's going to be on. That's all I'm saying. You better go get Aaron Judge.
Is that even on him at this point? Like, I'm asking sincerely. Let's take a step back. Is it on ownership? Is it on
somebody's head's going to ownership's going to sell the team? No.
No, I'm just asking. Like, so you're blaming Farhan? Isn't it above Farhan?
I'm just saying, if we go into the season,
okay,
and there's no talent on this roster, and they sign guys like Will Myers, who Lutman was on the phone with me last night.
I want nothing to do with Will Myers.
Well, he wants Will Myers. He said Will Myers hits at Oracle Park. And
he's a fourth, fifth
and I said,
outfielder.
if you go ahead and sign Will Myers, and you see how this fan base reacts. It's going to be all bad.
I didn't say just sign only Will Myers.
Yeah, but you were hyping up Will Myers.
Like Will Myers is like the sixth guy you get in this offseason.
Oh, but basically, all I was saying was Farhan Zaidi can't hold Brian Sabian's jock right now.
Well, Brian Sabian is extremely underrated in terms of his spot in the hierarchy of Bay Area sports.
He's one of the best GMs in Bay Area sports history.
Yeah, and also I think he's a fringe Hall of Famer in baseball. I mean, you were the architect of 3 championships.
Championships.
You competed at a time when there's only one wild card spot, and you won this team's first division title in 9 years. And then they were knocking on the doorstep of a championship year after year after year. And it was a disappointment when they didn't make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Huge disappointment.
Huge. And he retinkered the philosophy. They got pitching. They went pitching heavy and went away from the hitting philosophy.
And orchestrated one of the most aggressive trades in Giants history, trading away fan favorite Matt Williams
for Jeff Kent. Picked up Darryl Hamilton, Jose Vizcaíno.
Made a great
deadline deal.
Always made deadline deals.
Always made. Whenever you were in contention, he made deals. Whether it's Kenny Lofton, whether it's freaking Danny Darwin, who was 45 years old, did not
Terry
matter.
Mulholland for the 16th time.
Did not matter.
But see, let me just for 1 second. Now we'll get into the Farhan aspect of this. I actually think like Giants homers, like you're calcifying
the home. I'm just saying the homers. I'm a homer when it comes to the Giants. There's homers and there's just like next level homers, right?
But I would argue, like, for me, I think the Giants actually make me the most angry of the 3 big teams that I love, the Giants, Niners, and the because every day, think about this, 7 out of 10 times you fail. and you go to the Hall of Fame. Like, it's a game of failure, so it's a game of misery. I've always felt that way of baseball. It's a grind. I'm mad at this guy. I'm mad at this. I'm mad at this pitching situation and this roster, and then why you pinch hitting this guy. Like, I'm always second-guessing everything in baseball. But at the end of the day, I am optimistic on my team because I'll give them this. Since 1993, they've been about as competitive as you can be. This is the losingest era right now. We are in the middle of the losingest era.
No doubt.
And, last year notwithstanding.
But
Giants baseball in my life.
But you know what people have been throwing at me from last year?
What's that?
It's not just you.
What?
Well, they did finish 81 and 81.
They did, though. That's a fact.
It makes me want to walk out the studio right now.
But Bonte,
makes me want to walk out the studio right now.
The bottom fell out on this year's team, and yet they still...
You're going to throw 81 and 81 at me?
No, it's not.
Nobody even watched it September.
I did. It's not
but you and Sam London by yourself.
Yeah, my dad. But my point, and I went to games. My point being is like...
They were 81 and...
Yeah,
see,
the
that's what I'm
bottom
saying.
fell out.
That's the problem.
What
was their record before they got to September?
Oh, they were below 500 at times throughout all of September. And then
you're going to throw 81 and 81 at me.
No, I'm not throwing it at you. I'm saying, like, given that everything went wrong, we act like they're the Pirates. We act like they're one of the worst teams. They're not. They're not. They're a well-run organization. Do they have elite talent? No, they don't. I am not here to say, like, oh, they're on par with Toronto and the Dodgers. No, they're not like that. But in terms of, like, ineptitude, they're not the Chris Cohan Warriors. Like, come on. Like, yeah, I want them to get Aaron Judge. Will I be extremely disappointed if they can't land Aaron Judge? Yes. Does that mean that I'm going to be like, oh, they're fine? No, they're not fine. They need to add to this. Like, I'm worried if they don't get Aaron Judge, they're in a really precarious spot here because they do need to spend it. And I'm afraid that they spend bad money.
It just feels like whenever I throw heat on Farhan, there's a lot of pushback.
I don't know if Farhan's any good. I don't even know.
Let me throw heat on John Lynch and Bob Myers, and people are like high-fiving you, right?
But they've won championships.
They've won championships. John Lynch and Shanahan have gotten the Niners close.
And we give them so much heat. And they started from scratch.
And we give them they started from scratch.
At least I'll give this. Everyone's like, Farhan inherited a dumpster fire. I always push back on them like, wait a minute, time out. You inherited a team with unbelievable resources in a sport where there's no salary cap, essentially. And secondarily, you had Hall of Famer in Buster Posey and a Hall of Fame manager at the time.
And you ran him out of town.
Well,
ran him out of town. So here's the deal.
It's hard for me to not hear him talk about DeGrom yesterday and feel a certain way.
Right, exactly.
About Bochy.
Exactly.
Leaving.
And as I wear my Giants pullover, all I'm saying is it's year 5 of Farhan. And damn it, you better go get Aaron Judge. Because if you don't get Aaron Judge, I'm not angry now. I'm not angry. Trust me, folks, I'm not angry. All I'm saying is if they don't get Aaron Judge, and this all season is a quiet one, and you end up with somebody like Will Myers or Brian Reynolds or Brandon Nemo, your boy gonna be angry.
But what if he simply doesn't want to play here? Like, I'm preparing myself. I feel like I'm setting myself up for such a disappointment. I'm preparing myself to
why wouldn't he want to play here?
You know
why he wouldn't want to play here?
Clearly wanted to play in Philly, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
The money and the years were there. I don't know what the Dodgers' best offer was for Trey Turner. I know what the Phillies' best offer was, and to me, it felt like he wanted to play in Philly with Bryce Harper. What if Aaron Judge, the Giants gave him $400? I think they're going to $400 for 10. Feels like that's what I would give. That's what I would give. Now, let's say the Giants did blow them away financially in years and everything, but he simply doesn't want to come. You're still going to have that same energy?
Absolutely. Because then that's a problem with this organization. That means this organization is not respected around the baseball world. That means this organization. No, but this organization is not appealing to anybody else. He is on a tour, getting recruited. He came to San Francisco.
I know.
He came here in a hotel last week.
I know.
And if he doesn't sign here.
And he's local, quote unquote.
That means this organization not appealing. Now, why is it not appealing? It's not the ballpark. It's not the history.
That's one thing about the Judge thing, real quick. Have we heard anything about, the dimensions? Guys don't want to play the dimensions.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Me neither. Keep going.
So, it's not the stadium. It's not the history.
No.
It's not the colors. It's not the fan base. It's the damn lineup. It's the president of baseball operations, and it's the manager. That's not appealing.
Now, I think that the lineup should have been farther along in terms of I wished all of the youngsters would be here by now. I am tired of hearing the COVID year. Stop it. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that excuse.
Think about what one of the top 3 selling points has been for Aaron Judge during this offseason. The top 3 selling points.
What are they?
Well, Luciano's coming up the pipeline. Kyle Harrison's coming up the pipeline. Matos is coming up the pipeline. Oh, Fox. All these guys are coming up the pipeline. Aaron Judge is 31 years. He's going to be 31 years old, playing with the New York Yankees in American League playoffs, American League Championship Series. You think Aaron Judge wants to hear about what's coming up in the pipeline 2 years from now?
What do the Yankees have coming down the pipeline?
So what? They've been close, though. But they've been close, though.
Agreed.
They've been knocking on the door.
But if you look, I agree with you.
They've been knocking on the door, so don't bring up the Yankees.
Too, the Yankees got.
We got nothing.
The lineup sucks.
We're selling prospects.
Yes.
We're selling prospects.
But what was Philly selling Bryce Harper back then? I'm curious. Like, what were they selling?
Ballpark. East, we're going to rebuild. We've got some talent here. Right? Reese Hoskins, they had talent.
So why doesn't that same pitch apply for the Giants?
And we're going to spend money.
Well, I feel like the Giants are. They got nothing on the books.
And Bryce Harper's short porch at right field. And you're going to hit a lot of home runs here. You're going to love this fan base. And Bryce Harper knew that division. He knew that division.
He did. I hear you. I think the Judge thing is so unique. Like, this isn't like getting Melanson instead of Jansen. When I wanted Jansen and they went up and got Melanson. Like, to me, this is, if Judge doesn't come to the Giants, I don't think you can file it under, it's because of Farhan. It's because the organization fell short. I think the only way I could is he just wanted to be a Yankee.
We make all these excuses for the Giants.
It's not an excuse.
It feels like it is, because then I see the Angels always in play for free agents. I see the Rangers always in play for free agents.
Well, they got the tax-free stuff.
The New York Mets. We don't ever talk about their prospects. They just sign guys.
Yeah, I can't remember the last prospect. Though they traded them all away to go get Francisco Lindor.
There you go. And they came out. So
I'm not even a Farhan defender. I'm not even trying to be that, because I'm actually skeptical. I'm very skeptical.
All I'm saying is, if you don't get Aaron Judge, and you got Carlos Correa parading around the winter
Minnesota
meetings,
now thinks they're involved.
Well, there you go.
I know.
There you go. The build-up to this free agency about the blank check and parading around saying, we got all this money to spend. You ain't spent a dime yet. Oh, by the way, Carlos Rodon opted out. He's visiting people.
Yeah, I know.
Now you're going to lose him.
Well, and it sounds, from the way Susan Slusser made it sound, they're not targeting a number 2 pitcher. They don't think they need one, which I would disagree
Giants
with.
don't think they need one.
I would
and
disagree
people are
with
drinking that Kool-Aid.
I know.
Look, get in here. Do the Giants need a number 2 pitcher?
Oh, no, the starting pitching market is what's really starting to worry me now, because right now you're looking around, you're saying, Kodai Senga, I think that's the guy. I mean, when you got guys who are coming across the ocean like that, that's a coin flip as to whether or not they're going to be good or not. And you're saying, don't worry, that's the guy who's going to back up Logan Webb. I mean, if you know something I don't, go ahead. But if Kodai Senga is all right, we got the pitching rotation set, and then we got Wood, Cobb, and DeSclafani coming in after that. That's like Logan Webb, and then there
you go.
DeSclafani? I know.
And you know what? I stand corrected. Drew down. I stand corrected. They gave Jock Peterson $19.6 million, and people were okay.
No.
Jock Peterson, $19.6 million. Mark Miller came in here and said, why are you worried about it? He hit 23 home runs, $19.6 million, qualifying offer.
4 after the slap. 2.5 months
after he got his ass slapped.
Yeah, he had 19 and then 4
with baby
after.
powder at Synergy Field in Cincinnati. Got the soul slapped out of him
this year, and the power won't go away.
And he got $19.6 million.
What team is he on, by the way? The guy who slapped him
gave him $19 million in sympathy dollars, saying, you know what? Let us say what happened last year. Here's 19.6.
No, look, let me defend the Jock thing. I don't think that Jock is worth $19 million, but I don't think it makes or breaks them. It's irrelevant to what they're doing. They did it for the qualifying offer. Yeah, they're kind of competing against nobody on the money, but B, he's a good clubhouse guy.
It's like the Warriors going to sign Corey Maggette. He's competing against nobody.
No,
he gave Corey Maggette $40 million.
That's different because it's a salary cap sport. There really isn't a salary cap for the Giants.
I get that. So what? You still gave away $19.6 million. Is that good business?
Jock doesn't kill you. He's fine. He's fine as a DH and a platoon guy, and I think he fits the clubhouse. He's a guy that keeps people loose. He fits. Dude, he was fun last year. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I watched them every night. He was one of the few guys who was fun and a threat in the lineup.
Only Giants fans can sell fun. Hey, you know what? We went 81 and 81. It was fun. Jock made it fun. Hit 4 home runs after he got slapped.
I know.
Did he hit a home run in July?
No, but he went like an entire month, 40 days without a hit. He wandered the desert like Moses.
He went 40 days without a hit, but you know what? It was fun. Hey, that's my problem right there.
Do we play the Red Sox next year?
That's what gets my blood boiling right there when it comes to Giants baseball. Right there. 40 days without a hit. And I'm not getting on you, Shasky. You know I love you. 40 days without a hit.
Dude, this team makes me irate.
But it was fun.
This team makes me irate more than anyone, probably.
This team drives me crazy.
But B, at the same time, I also understand there are things that are out of their control. You could give the greatest pitch of all time, and if the person simply doesn't want to play for you because he wants to stay with the current team that he's on or whatever. Like, I get that. Sometimes whole things aren't created equal, even if you are the highest bidder, even if you are presenting things that the other team can't offer. What if he simply doesn't want to be here?
Then you know what? Then he doesn't want to be here, and we move on, and then we wasted our time. We wasted.
It'll be a gut punch.
Oh, it'd be a TKO. It'd be a TKO. It'd be Juan Manuel Marquez knocking out Manny Pacquiao in the 6th round.
Look.
Where we're seeing stars when we're getting up, like, what just happened?
But Bonte,
Tweety birds fly.
You're going after Farhan. You're going after Farhan.
I'm going after this regime.
Well, see, because
Farhan and Gabe Kapler.
Listen. I am actually the most skeptical of anyone on the way they play baseball. I don't like the way they play baseball. I don't like that they don't like to hit and run. I don't like that they don't like speed. They don't emphasize defense for my liking. They obviously don't want to put the ball in play. They don't want to go the other way. This is a team that has pulled the ball more than any other team in baseball. When I've been telling them, go the other way. Like, yes, there's a lot of things. Now, did they bunt more than anyone? Yeah, but they're the slowest team ever. They're one of the worst base running teams ever. I like base running. I know that's not a sexy thing to say. But the Houston Astros, who just won the World Series, they've got elite players who run the bases and are 5-tool players. Now, takes time to develop a farm so you have those kinds of guys. The point being is I am out on a lot of the things that they represent in terms of their baseball principles. At the same time, I am open to seeing their wave of young guys I've been waiting 3+ years on to just see it.
And we're going to have to wait another year for most of them.
I have no other choice.
You have a choice. You have a choice. I'm going to call out this fan base. I'm going to call out this regime every single day next year if they don't get stuff done this offseason. I'm not. People think I'm angry now. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. I will turn as red as you if they don't get the things done this offseason.
Well,
if they don't get things done this offseason, Chasky, I will rip this team every single day. I will be insufferable. I will be insufferable. It's unacceptable what's going on right now. You need to get some guys in here. You let Rodon just walk and say, hey, who can find another diamond in the rough?
He had a monster year. Broke a lot of strikeout records in terms of left-handers for San Francisco Giants in the history. Had an unbelievable season. Had basically 2 bad starts on the road that diluted his numbers, and he was excellent. Like, look at his numbers. If they were a 90-win team, he's a Cy Young candidate.
You know what's bothersome? Is that this franchise, other than the championship run with Lincecum and Baum and Kane and Pablo, they had a great run with the farm system.
Yeah.
But outside of that, they've done nothing with this farm system. It's been really disappointing.
Wait, you're just kind of like, wait. Just
no.
1 second. Buster, Farm, Timmy,
I'm saying,
Farm,
I just
Kane,
said, Jatsky, are you listening
Duffy,
to me?
Panic, Crawford, Belt.
Are you
that's
listening
all
to
from
me?
the farm. Now, outfield farm?
Are you listening? I just said outside of that championship stretch of that farm system.
Outside of 11 years?
5 years. 5 years. They won a championship. 5 years.
Logan Webb?
3 and 5. Okay, Logan Webb.
Okay, Brian Wilson? Like, they don't get credit for that?
Yeah, 2-3 years.
Doval?
2-3 years.
Currently? They don't get credit for that?
Currently on the roster, Logan Webb, Doval.
Yeah, and I'm excited about them.
Who else?
Well, they found Tyro Estrada, even though he's not from their farm. He had a good year. Crawford currently?
Crawford's done.
Well, he had a pretty great year the year before.
Done. Crawford's done.
I feel like I'm defending stuff that I feel for them. They were in a tough spot. They had a bunch of old, bloated contracts, and I'm not even trying to defend the reality. No one wanted their bloated contracts. Their farm, they had traded away year after year after year to hang on to the final embers of a dynasty.
They gave Belt and Crawford extensions, right? Did they not?
Yes, but that was because they developed and identified and nurtured talent for like a 9-year stretch.
I'm talking about Farhan.
Well, Farhan, I don't even know. I haven't seen any of his guys. It's really hard. I know. And I'm not even the biggest Farhan believer. I don't know what to think of him right now.
All I'm saying is they don't get things done this offseason. And we got a long way to go. Winter meetings just started. Got a long way to go. You got to get Judge, man.
I know.
They got to get Judge because they don't. Other free agents are saying, oh, Judge passed him up. Why? Why did they pass him up?
Well,
and then all of a sudden, you're missing out on all these other guys.
I know.
And then what's going to happen?
Well, to your point about Farhan, I think Farhan's part of the pitch at some level. To me, this is like Larry Bear. Like, this is above Farhan. That's the way I view it. When you're talking hundreds of $500 million, that goes above the GM. Like, you've got to, you're going to be buddy-buddy with the owners and the ownership brass.
What if the owner already signed off and said, hey, Farhan, you have a blank check. Go get me Judge.
Yeah, but he's still got to be a part of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no doubt. He's got to be a part of it.
When they brought in Kevin Durant.
But Farhan's got to pitch him on the philosophy,
For sure,
right?
for
He's
sure.
got to pitch him on what the lineup's going to look
That's where
like.
I get a little worried.
Well, that's a problem
That's
then.
where I get a
if
little
you're
worried.
worried about the president of baseball operations not being able to pitch a free agent with a blank check, that's a problem. That's a problem moving forward.
But not all
and the
things are
manager,
created
while you're
equal.
pitching, by the way, while you're pitching Aaron Judge, he's in San Francisco, your manager, Gabe Kapler, is out there in the mountains in Arizona.
It's his
chilling.
offseason.
I need the manager here.
It's his offseason.
Not the Niners game.
Yeah, he could zoom in. I'm not worried about that. Cap might not even be the manager in a couple of years. Like, I thought he'd be a one-and-done guy. If the 2020 season happens in totality,
So if you're
he
Aaron
might
Judge,
not even last the season.
Let's go to Steve in Santa Rosa. Steve, they bother me, dude.
Do I sound like I'm defending them? I'm trying to be reasonable.
I'm trying to be reasonable too.
No, I think you have a fair point of view.
I'm trying to live in reality.
I know.
Here.
I think you have
and
a fair point of
And I don't want to sell our
view.
fan base on just fairy tales about what could happen and why we should be happy with just 81 and 81.
Well, what I fear is that they're going to miss out on Judge and go, wait till next offseason with Ohtani. And then it's like, come on. Like, I can't hear that every year.
I'll probably be fired from my job if that happens. I can't last another season watching that. I can't. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'll go root for the A's. I'll go become an A's fan.
No, you won't.
Steve in Santa Rosa, what's happening?
Shea Langoliers.
I swear to God.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Steve.
Thank you, Bonte. Thank you. I'm with you 100%. Oh, yeah, I'm Aaron Judge. I'm going to come to the Giants and get pitched around and not see a fastball for a month at a time with nobody on the lineup even close to helping him out. Who's going to bat behind him? Belt?
No,
He's
Belt's
a
a free
wash
agent.
woman. They need to
He's free
dump
agent.
him. They need to send Belt and Kapler packing. Kapler's the worst man. Oh, I want to play for Gabe Kapler. If I strike out or I hit a home run, I don't know if I'm going to get another at-bat in the game. I might get replaced because the computer says that guy's a joke. And I have a feeling that that's why Buster Posey left, because he didn't want to play for that joke of a manager we got.
Well, that's a dirty little secret.
Well, no. He had some family stuff. I mean, he adopted children that needed his care,
And
right?
then he took the ownership gig with the Giants, right?
Yeah, but he's remote. He can be remote in that role. Like, I don't think that's a fair picture on Buster. I don't. I personally do not. Listening to and I'm taking it at face value. It sounded to me like his situation with his family superseded, and he made a lot of money and had a great career. And like Will Clark and him were buddy. He wanted to retire with an over 300 career batting average.
So if they don't sign Aaron Judge,
And maybe I'm naive to that, but that's I believe that to be
you're
true.
entitled to your opinion. They don't sign Aaron Judge. How can you sell me on the Giants?
I don't know. I have to see what they do. I'm gonna be devastated if they don't get Judge, because I feel like I've gone really far down. You know, in Back to the Future, the point of no return.
Yep.
I feel like I've reached that. Like, we had better hit the flux capacitor and hit 88 miles per hour
or we're done.
and zoom into the future, or like we're gonna go crashing and careening into the wall.
Think, McFly. Think.
Exactly.
So instead of McFly, it's Farhan, right? Think, Farhan, think.
By the way,
That's what I pay you for. Think, Farhan, think. You're the smartest guy in the room. I keep hearing how you orchestrated the Dodgers, how you were the architect of the Dodgers. Farhan, where you at? Where you at, Farhan?